commercial real estate with Salvables Studley. Lee Martin. These two young men have been tremendous ambassadors for Swarthmore College and MFS. Please join their teammates and coaches in thanking them for their contributions to the college and to our basketball program. between the McDaniel Green Terror and your sophomore Garnet. At this time, we now present our national anthem. Swafford College joins the NCAA and the Centennial Conference in promoting good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We ask for your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. Fans visit SwaffordAthletics.com/programs to view today's digital game day program on your phone or mobile device. Again, to view today's digital game day program, visit SwaffordAthletics.com/programs. Thank you.
just won't go down for Harper. He will replace Aruda, and 2 come in for the Garnet. Actually 3 make that as Ryan Ingram and Abbas Salah join Justin Tucker.
Yeah, Garnet really trying to make sure, it looks like in this game, that their whole rotation is getting good minutes and good experience. They want to keep everybody pretty well rested heading into next weekend's conference tournament.
Well, this is a young lineup here as well. A junior, 2 sophomores, and 2 freshmen on the floor. Odell with patience. Now spins out of it. Visconti and Tucker. Tucker's on the floor, and I thought he was fouled there. I mean, they came in. A jump ball is going to be called, and a lot of times that's the call you see on something like that. But if you were to ever go back and slow that down, you'd probably get somebody getting hit in the chops before there was ever a held ball situation.
Yeah, I mean, he just got sandwiched there by a couple of Green Terror players.
Good defense there by Zach Odell. He leads the break and elects to pull it up. Garnet, I think, wants to run their offensive sets. This is a great opportunity here as Ingram pops over for 3 a bit long, but a good opportunity, I think, to run some sets and slow things down a little bit. Not that you want to take McDaniel for granted in any way, shape, or form, but an opportunity to, in a perhaps slightly less pressure-packed situation, run your offensive sets and figure out what it is you want to do and focus on going into the conference tournament. Here's Harper with it, 8 seconds to shoot. Pretty good defense here. This is Mike Wallace pulling up and getting blocked. Abbas Salah says, get that out of here. Harper guards Tucker. Interesting that as Visconti fires it for 3, no good. Foul is going to be called. I think Ingram is going to be the one. Tabbed as the culprit. That'll be the Garnet second team foul. But Jacob, I find it interesting if it's going to be Harper going forward at the times when Justin Tucker's in the game. Harper has the length to defend Tucker, and they're not going to let him catch it with any space at the 3-point arc.
Yeah, I mean, that people know at this point, especially I think it was against Haverford, went 3 for 6 from beyond the arc. They know at this point that Justin Tucker can space the floor, that he is a very good 3-point shooter. Both him and Odell bring that in that regards, that they can really stretch the floor, and McDaniel knows that they are not going to let him get open and possibly burn their defense in that way.
Garnet into the zone for the first time. Wallace skips the pass over for Aruda. A wild 3, that one's really deep. And a good rebound there by the Garnet. That's exactly the shot you want to elicit out of that zone defensive look.
That's some freshman ambition there.
Visconti, offensive foul as he lowers the shoulder into the McDaniel defender. That's the 3rd team foul against the Garnet. George Visconti's first.
Yeah, I don't think this is how they necessarily wanted to be starting their game. They're having some issues getting their offense going. Only 9 points scored through the first 6 minutes and 20 seconds of this game, and obviously tied with McDaniel at the moment. They've sacrificed a little bit of offense to get all their young guys out on the floor. Again, it's 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and a junior, and when you take guys like Harkins and Wiley off the floor for extended periods, you're going to give up some of that offense.
Josh Aruda finished inside. Tucker, strong drive to the hoop. Forced the hand check there by Sam Beverly, the big forward, number 24. You love to see that, though, Jacob, out of Justin Tucker, that's been primarily, when he's caught it beyond the arc, a spot-up shooter, and now his ability to raise the eyes a little bit. That's going to get a defender like Beverly off the floor, and then to be able to put it on the pavement and get to the hole. That, if he continues to advance that part of his game, he's going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got the strength right now, and as he continues to work out and progress in general as a player, he'll just get even better in that regards. And with that stretch capability it brings, I'm very excited for how he'll be playing over these next 3 years.
A really good look on the other end there by Schaefer. It just did everything but go through the cylinder. Wallace off a high ball screen from Harper. Now a back screen came, and the ball's in the hands of Tony Tavares. Tavares gets it back from Aruda. 5 seconds left. Aruda gets a pretty good shot. That's way long. And that's going to be a shot clock violation. Has to be. And they're going to confer. And the call is made correctly. And it certainly makes sense as you watch that in live time. The referee on the baseline, Jacob, had the jump ball. He wasn't necessarily in a position to see where the shot clock was, but that basketball clearly did not hit the rim, and the one official on the wing came in. That's exactly how you want the officials to handle a situation like that. Connor Harkins, my oh my, shoots that one out of a phone booth. My goodness.
Thought he got hit on the hand as well in the process.
Nate Schaefer called for the foul. Braden Caldwell draws the contact, and the 5'10 freshman out of York, Pennsylvania, will shoot 2 at the foul line. Caldwell hits the first. One of those situations, Jacob, where McDaniel, they've struggled this season. You've highlighted the fact that they've played some close games. Swarthmore obviously handled this team very easily earlier in the year, but make no mistake, this is the last game of the season for McDaniel. There is no postseason for them, and so they're going to come out and give Swarthmore everything they have. You've seen it so far, and now it's up to the Garnet to respond. Good look for Wiley, an open three, count it! And what a look from Connor Harkins from the post.
He's really developed as a passer this season. Traditionally, you've seen him almost exclusively as a catch and shoot type of guy, but his passing really, especially from the elbow and in the post, has definitely looked up, and he's found some good looks like that there for Wiley.
Beverly was out of control in the first one, couldn't finish after the follow. Wiley with a drive, turn on the afterburners. Timeout called Kevin Curley, and that's what Cam Wiley does for you.
I mean, that's what we're celebrating here on Senior Day. For the past 3 seasons, he has been absolutely spectacular ever since taking over once Matt Brennan ultimately had his career ended due to injury. Cam Wiley came in, took over, he's scored over 1,400 points in only 3 seasons of play, closing in on that 1,500 mark. They mentioned during his Senior Day announcement that he was a 3rd-team All-American his sophomore year, Conference Player of the Year. He has been absolutely huge, and in the past couple weeks, he's really stepped up his game. He's increased his scoring averages by about 2 points on the season in the past 4 games, and that means, and this is what we see every year, he really turns up the Jets when it comes to the postseason, because he knows that people are going to be looking to him, they're going to be relying on him more, and he's ready for that pressure, and he's handling it.
Turnover is forced by the Garnet. And now this might go back the other way. And indeed it will. Great hustle by the Garnet as they pick up full court right out of the timeout, and something that perhaps Curley and McDaniel was not prepared for. It's a great adjustment by Landry Kosmowski. The long Zach Odell guards the inbounder. Now the double team comes. That long pass barely got to the intended target. Beverly now across the timeline. Scarborough lays a screen. Wallace comes to the elbow. Great look to the outside. 4-3, no good. Pretty good look from Greg Scarborough, and here comes Wiley the other way. Great position ahead of time by Nate Schaefer, and a textbook finish.
Yeah, few people can guard him, honestly. His finishing, it's not that people stop him. Sometimes the ball just doesn't go through the cylinder. You expect every time he rises up and puts up a shot, it to go fall.
Wallace thought about it, now drives on the mismatch against Schaefer, and a good finish high off the glass. Harkins has it on the wing. Wiley off a back screen for three. Good! And Cam Wiley having a good night so far.
I mean, he knows what the crowds want. It's his senior day. He's ready to go out there and shoot that ball.
Dynamite from beyond the arc so far this afternoon. Beverly has it now at the elbow looking for help. Wallace, the floater well long, barely drew the iron. And the Garnet look to run. Visconti for three. That one's no good. Odell, what a rebound. Wiley launches again. Back iron a bit too strong, brought down by Scarborough. The Garnet have responded in recent minutes here. Pretty good defense there by Visconti. Gets his hand on it and nearly kept in bounds by Harkins. What a defensive effort.
It's the thing about the Garnet. Every single one of their players, you know, no matter if they're stars or, you know, just your normal rotation guy, every one of them is hustling on every single play, as we saw from Harkins there trying to save that ball. That's what makes them great, that everybody is bought in a sense, to giving it their all on every play.
Moving screen called against McDaniel, and number 20, Braden Caldwell. Tucker on the wing. And touch foul is called against McDaniel. That's the team's 6th foul already.
Foul number 1, Mike Wallace is first, team 6.
It's a 7-point lead for the Garnet, 9:02 to play first half. Back cut and nearly had an opportunity to find number 14, Ryan Ingram. Instead now, it's going to be Odell. Finding Ingram, popping open for three. No good off the front rim. And Tucker off the offensive rebound inside for Odell on a two-handed flush.
I think Zach Odell's got to be in the conversation for Player of the Year this season. You look at him, he's averaging around 12 points, 8 rebounds. He makes some highlight reel plays like that one right there. If you want to build a team right now in the Centennial Conference, I think Zach Odell is probably the first guy that you're going to take. Maybe some other guys first, but in terms of the season he's been having, just keeps doing it.
Unbelievable. Ingram holds it up. And yeah, that's about as good of a offensive and defensive possession track as you'll find, as Odell stuffs one on one end and then puts out a ferocious block defensively on the other end. He goes right back at it off the glass. Too easy for the junior, Zach Odell. Timeout called by Kevin Curley. And Swarthmore has it going on here at home.
I mean, just together, this whole front court rotation for the Garnet, it's going to look very good next season, especially now that Justin Tucker has really started getting meaningful minutes in these games. He's improved so much as a player. We can see in his track as the season has gone along, but you have obviously, and even in this season into the postseason, you've got Schaefer, you've got Odell, you've got Tucker. I think this is very easily the best front court grouping in the Centennial Conference.
Bob Long, Jacob Brady, your broadcast team here this afternoon on GSN simulcast on the Centennial Conference Digital Network. Now, some other interesting things going on around the conference here, Jacob. We take a look at the standings, and right at the top are the Garnet, 14-3. Johns Hopkins, 13-4. Swarthmore can stay clear of Hopkins by winning this basketball game here today and force the other four teams, really, to come to Tarbell Pavilion. One of those teams will be knocked off in a 4-5 matchup on Wednesday night. But then down below, Hopkins is our Science at 12-5. And here's where it gets interesting. Muhlenberg at 9-8 plays Gettysburg today. Franklin and Marshall already won against Ursinus, so Ursinus is going to drop to 12-6. Franklin and Marshall up to 9-9. Washington College and Dickinson are going to play one another. They're both at 8-9. Franklin and Marshall is a big fan of the Red Devils here today, because if Washington College wins that game, all of a sudden it will be Wash U. As Salah gets a steal and goes right to the hoop. Colin Shaw gets in there and finishes. Swarthmore, unbelievable defense right out of the timeout. Doesn't even let me finish my point. You gotta love it, Jacob. Now Harper back the other way. But by virtue of Washington College's 2 wins over Franklin and Marshall, they would win the tiebreaker, and they would be the 5th team into the playoffs. Tough finish in there by Braden Caldwell. Abbas Salah, too good. And he thought he got hit as well, Jacob.
I mean, he's having himself a season as well. He's improved so much as a shooter in general. Still definitely some work to do. He was known last season for his passing and his defense. He's really taken his game up a notch. And, you know, you're going to lose Cam Wiley next season, but you've got guys like Abbas Salah and Ryan Ingram, who's on the court as well, to take over from him.
Colin Shaw off a tremendous find from Abbas Salah. And another timeout is called. The Garnet lead by 16 here at home.
When they find their rhythm, there's just nothing you can do to stop them, and they are in that right now. You just hit that groove where you're making the shots fall at one end, you're playing tight D, you're getting big plays, obviously, like that block from Zach Odell at the other end, and just in general as a team, you're playing so cohesively, and you're playing hard on every single possession, you're hustling, and that's really what makes the Garnet great.
The Garnet on a 21-4 run over the last 5 minutes and change. Out of the timeout, McDaniel and Kevin Curley looking for answers. An open 3 in the corner is good. Isaac Ray, the senior guard out of Fredericksburg, his last basketball game, trying to pull him back in it. Shaw from the same spot. Won't go this time. Schaefer got a hand on it, but into the hands of DJ Harper.
Yeah, you have to do something there to maybe get some of the momentum back in your favor, at least halt the Garnets, and you get the 3, you get the stop. If they can turn this into points, that'll be huge for them.
Pretty nice little shake that time from Mike Wallace, freshman guard out of Salesianum High School. Tucker given the open 3. No good. Shaw gets a hand in there, and he is called for the foul. A little bit of body contact. It's a shame, though. He climbed the ladder and went and got the ball first.
I was impressed by that play there from him. He's been making those hustle plays, those, you know, get in, play physical all season from Cincinnati, Ohio. Definitely appropriate. Plays, you know, blue-collar basketball, so to speak. Plays tough. Saw in that play. Sadly ended in a foul, obviously, but that's just the brand of basketball that he brings to this team.
I've been fortunate to know a lot of folks from the Cincinnati area. Great town, great people, and they are proud of the type of basketball that they play at the high school circuit, and they want the nation to know that Cincinnati basketball is a brand, and he plays that way. Big block from Zach Odell. Abbas Salah looks like he might have been poked in the eye. He's struggling a little bit as Wiley fires and hits again. Cam Wiley is on fire from beyond the arc. He is 3 for 4 from deep, and the Garnet have a 14-point lead.
Yeah, what a day for him. Add that to 3 rebounds and 3 assists, and he's really making the most of his senior day.
No luck. Harper has it at the foul line. Here's a tough 3, no good. And here comes Cam Wiley the other way. Maybe Odell had an opportunity to roll. Now a big-time 3 from Connor Harkins off the feed from Cam Wiley.
Yeah, can't forget him. He's now 3 of 3 from behind the arc. And I believe, I think he was 5 3-pointers away from tying the record that he actually co-holds with Cam Wiley of 76 3-pointers in a season. He's made 3 today. I believe that gives him 74, so he is not far off from breaking that record.
Wiley was a little slow to get up after that. He was knocked down on the rebound attempt. A long 3. Not close from Wallace. Out of bounds, last touch by McDaniel. We talked about it a little bit during the Johns Hopkins game. Since December the 1st, when they lost on a last-second heave from Franklin and Marshall, this team really hasn't been slowed down offensively, and today is no exception. Even in their only loss of 2018 as a whole, they scored 88 points in that effort. There's just nobody out there that can stop this team. At least they haven't stepped foot into Tarble Pavilion. Now, obviously, a long way to go to get where they eventually want to go, but the way the offense is rolling is Harper knocks it down to cut it to 14. The way the offense is rolling, they can just kind of continue that form. They're going to be in a very good spot heading into March. Odell gets that one to go.
The thing about the starting lineup for the Garnet is that they can absolutely blitz teams for points to start games. We saw it against Gettysburg when they started off on a 19-0 run. Saw it against Muhlenberg when they scored 32 straight after Muhlenberg opened up the game with 2 points. They can blitz people, and what that means is that they can get their rotation players and slow down the game a little, maybe lose a bit of offense for the defense and obviously the rest for their starters, but they've staked themselves just a big lead at that point, and that often ends up being pretty insurmountable.
Zach Odell is fouled by McDaniel. Looked to me like Ryan Ingram was hit pretty hard on his attempt as well. That one wasn't called. It will send Swarthmore to the line to shoot the front end of the 1-and-1. What we're finding on the other end, by the way, as Isaac Ray pours in another 3, is that he's a pretty decent 3-point shooter. He comes in shooting under 30% from beyond the arc this year, but he's unafraid and he's hit a few difficult shots here today, and he's, felt the confidence to let them go, even with guys in his face. As Odell misses the foul shot, 1:24 to play in the half. Garnet lead by 13 here at home on senior day. Here's a drive. Good look for Harper. He'll try it again from the same spot, and he is fouled by Odell. That is Zach Odell's second personal, team 6th.
Odell has had a couple games where he's ended up in foul trouble, so 2 fouls. Definitely wants to keep them down throughout the second half, and I think that's something they'll have to work on this week, or maybe work on is the wrong term, but discuss maybe just playing a little bit cleaner, and especially because you need him in the postseason, that's for sure. You need him in those games. Maybe there's some games where it's okay, but definitely in those you want him out on the floor as much as you can get him.
Harper hits the first 2, third coming. It's 41-30, and McDaniel has made a Garnet may elect to try to take this down towards the end to prevent a 2-for-1 on the McDaniel side. Visconti runs right through the defender, Isaac Ray, and it'll go back to McDaniel, so perhaps an opportunity for the Green Terror to continue to cut back into this lead.
Second time he's gotten whistled on that exact kind of play. And Green Terror playing excellent defense there on Visconti, making sure they get into, obviously, legal guarding position and drawing those charges.
Garnet have scored 41 points in the first half. They put up 100 exactly against Dickinson last Wednesday evening. After a strong 73-55 win in fairly dominating fashion against Johns Hopkins the prior Saturday. Wallace looks for Beverly. Now Ray has it, not afraid to step back. And he's going to get another look. A deep three for Ray, no good. Rebound. And I think he thought about launching that again to try to get a 2-for-1.
Yeah, you saw it in his eyes there. Yeah, flashed through his mind.
Tough drive to the hole, too strong off the glass, and Schaefer brings it down. What an outlet for Wiley. He's going to pull it back, and now they have the opportunity to take the last shot. Ten to shoot, Garnet lead by 10. Wiley through the lane, and he is fouled. Josh Arruda wants a jump ball, but certainly looked to me like he got a whole armful of wrist. Cam Wiley, I think, should get 2 shots here, I believe. Yep, and it is.
Yeah.
This is only the 8th team foul, but I would argue, and I think the referee confirmed he was going into a shooting motion. As Wiley gets the shooter's roll, McDaniel is going to have 6.7 to play with here. Jacob, what do you think? How do you move this ball up the floor? And if you're Swarthmore, do you defend with full court pressure off a make?
I think you do. They've done a good job of slowing teams down. They've got long guys out there in the form of Harkins and Schaefer. It looks like they're, and obviously Salon. Doesn't look like they're going to, seeing that only Ingram is in the backcourt.
Caldwell gets all the way to the hoop, and it's blocked again by Nate Schaefer. It's a block party here at Tarver Pavilion. Jacob, you bring the chips and dip, my friend.
Oh, I'd be glad to. You see, thing about the Garnet, they don't have to guard in the... I will say, McDaniel is rebounding them very close today. It's only the Garnet are still leading, but it's only 20-19 in terms of overall rebounding, and McDaniel is actually leading on offensive rebounds, 10-7. That is rare to see. The Garnet are one of the best overall rebounding and also best rebounding margin teams in the country. Generally, are leading teams by more than 10 rebounds in a game, and so it's rare you see that McDaniel is playing it so close, so that may be a little point of concern. You've got plenty of time to work on it, though. Other than that, it's been a very clean game, 55% shooting from the field, 47% from beyond the arc. Those are the type of numbers that you want to see at this time in the season, heading into the postseason next weekend.
The only other thing worth mentioning about the value to hosting the tournament is that you get the player and the winner of a play-in game on Wednesday night, which could be Franklin and Marshall versus Muhlenberg. It could be Muhlenberg versus Washington College. But the point being is you let Ursinus and Johns Hopkins then, if you win this game, duke it out in a semifinal and wait to the final if you're fortunate enough to win your semifinal game. There's a value in that as well, because in many ways it's been a three-horse race, and at any point in the season, any one of those three teams had an opportunity to win the conference. Swarthmore now has it all in their hands. They can avoid both of those teams perhaps on a way to a conference tournament final. So that's what it's all about. That's why you come out here and play a game like this. And of course, the last one for Cam Wiley and Lee Martin on this floor as seniors in the regular season. We'll take a break, come back in a few minutes. The Garnet lead, 43-31. Bob Long, Jacob Brady here on GSN. Simulcast on the Centennial Conference Digital Network, and we'll be right back.
I coined my definition of success in 1934. My definition of success is peace of mind attained only through self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable. It's like reputation and character. Reputation is what others perceive you to be. Character is what you are.
Being the first in my family to go to college, it feels empowering.
College is not a 4-year plan. With a degree, you're able to set yourself up for the next 40 years of your life.
My coaches made sure that the student comes first because not everyone's going to become a professional athlete.
They know what it means to be successful off the court. Academics is the most important factor. The athletic scholarship just opened so many doors for me.
I'm excited to see what my future holds.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it.
Welcome back inside Tarbell Pavilion. Start of the second half between the Garnet of Swarthmore and the Green Terror of McDaniel, dressed in the yellow as fate would have it. Bob Long, Jacob Brady alongside your broadcast team on GSN and simulcast through the Centennial Conference Digital Network, this home game and every home game throughout the season. And if Swarthmore can finish this one off and get a win, we'll see you guys next weekend as well for a conference tournament. Friday evening doubleheader and then a Saturday championship game. George Visconti at the three-point line, guarded there by Caldwell. Gets the handoff, struggles with it, and now a nice job to maintain possession there on that defensive look from McDaniel. Odell beyond the three-point line finds Wiley. He's been hot from deep, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. Odell with open space in the middle of the floor, no good off the front rim, brought down by McDaniel.
I will actually say I misspoke or was incorrect at the break when I said that Connor Harkins was only 2 3-pointers away from breaking the record. He actually has broken the record. He now has 78 on the season, which is a new Swarthmore record.
Congratulations to Connor Harkins, a tremendous year for him. And the Garnet are going to get the ball back after a moving screen called against number 25, Greg Scarborough. The directive for Swarthmore was clear coming out of the break. They don't want to let this team hang around. And a blocking foul is called against McDaniel. And honestly, I don't know what the call is. Greg Scarborough called for what was called a block. There is no embellishment in basketball like there is in hockey, but if that were a call, that would be it.
Yeah.
He fell back like he was hit by a train.
No, I mean, I was clearly looked like a cell when it happened. Wish we had a replay of that.
Visconti fires from the wing. Comes high off the rim and won't go. Scarborough comes back the other way. Pulling it back is Braden Caldwell. No score yet on either side here in the second half.
Yeah, Visconti's been shooting the ball better from 3 as of late, but a little bit of a tough game for him, 0 for 4 right now from beyond the arc.
Ray, and the extra pass inside, ball is loose, and Odell, great hands. Odell's been given that look a few times, has elected not to take it. They work into their offensive set. And a great cut to the basket. That's a high percentage look for Odell. Great pass from Connor Harkins.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see him shoot the 3 ball oftentimes when he gets it in that sort of position. We've seen, especially last season, had a quite good 3-point shooting season. He's shown a little bit of timidity to take that shot as of late, but when you turn it into a great look like that slip to the basket there, hard to complain about the holster.
They talk about at the college level a lot, giving up a good shot to get a better shot, and that's exactly what they did. Visconti, that's a pretty good look as well. And the Garnet of Swarthmore, a 5-0 run to start the second half. They lead by 17, and Kevin Curley wants a timeout.
I mean, Visconti, he loves that corner spot. He's shown great catch and in the corner like that. He knocks them down so smoothly, so easily, and has got to be a huge part of the Garnet's offense. It's rare that you can really get 3 freshmen, bring them in, and immediately have them contribute in their rotation, especially on an NCAA tournament caliber team like this one. But that's really what they've got in Justin Tucker, Colin Shaw, and George Visconti. Visconti will go through some up and down stretches, but that 3 right there, that'll give him some confidence for the rest of this game.
I'll say this, we might be selling him short a little bit. He's been up and up for a long time.
Exactly.
I mean, the second half of his season, he's played like a veteran, and it didn't take him all that long to adjust to the college game. He was tabbed with a large responsibility coming in. He started the first game of the season as a true freshman and had that starting role. Struggled a little bit from beyond the 3-point line in the first few months of the season, but that percentage keeps ticking up, and now absolutely one of the most trusted guys from the 3-point arc that the Garnet has. And as we've seen in recent weeks, he loves to get to the basket as well, and he has the ability to raise the eyes, get a defender in the air, and very good off the bounce. He's had a tremendous freshman season.
And not afraid to take contact either. We've seen a couple times in this game he's gotten called for charges. Oftentimes those will be called as blocking fouls, as he is not afraid to drive right into contact from a defender.
Wallace comes off the screen. Here's a 3 from the top of the key. It's good. That's from Greg Scarborough, and it's a 14-point lead for the Garnet. Odell, such good position inside, and by the time he gets the ball there, if you haven't stolen it from him, that's too deep for Odell to catch and for you to not get burned. And McDaniel just fell asleep defensively.
Yeah, he just gets his body in there. You're not getting around him. You're not getting a hand on that. If it's not already there, though, the Garnet will be getting hands on the defensive end.
Justin Tucker got the block, and now McDaniel gets the steal. Mike Wallace, no numbers, runs through Ingram, offensive foul. It goes back the Garnet's way. Ingram might have been sliding. Perhaps it was deemed that Josh Sproul was a little bit out of control.
Yeah, you saw he picked up the head of steam there, and Ingram took the contact quite nicely, and good body positioning to make sure that got called.
Nate Schaefer. Schaefer falls down a little bit awkwardly, and now a touch foul called against Tucker. It's not actually a bad foul. McDaniel had an opportunity to get out on the break. Tucker's not in foul trouble. It's the first team foul in the second half, so while the foul might have looked a little bit awkward, not actually a bad foul. And he just wasn't looking. Here's Schaefer. The big man running the break. Oh, how good is that?
That's not an easy finish for him. He got ahead of steam there, had some contact around him, but just let it roll softly off the fingers, up and in. It's a great job by the big man.
Timeout call once again by McDaniel, and might have taken one. That might be their last time out, right? You only get 4. The rule changed 2 years ago, I believe, that took you from 5 timeouts to 4.
I mean, yeah, it seems like what they're trying to do is when the Garnet get a play or a possession that really seems to be swinging momentum in their favor, that gets the crowd energized, they're trying to stop that by immediately calling a timeout. But obviously you run into the situation where you're left with potentially 0 timeouts with 15 minutes left on the clock, and the Garnet will still have plenty of those plays left in their tank, so can't stop them all.
18-point lead, 52-34. The Garnet at home on Senior Day, honoring Lee Martin and Cam Wiley. And a big night for Wiley so far. The rest of the Garnet have played very well also.
Yeah, Zach Odell's almost up to a double-double. He's got 8 boards, 14 points to his name, so great game as usual for the big man.
Well, he can fill it up in so many ways. I mean, he's had a ton of blocks here today as well, credited with 3. Top of the key 3 is good. Josh Sproul. Now Schaefer gets it, bangs away inside. Good finish by Nate Schaefer.
I don't think he does that enough, where he just puts his body into his defender and gets to the basket like that. Sometimes he's got good moves. He'll, take the spin to the outside, lay it off the glass, but he can really just use his size and his strength on a smaller defender, as he did there.
Mike Wallace, a good finish. I mean, the other thing to that is if it's going to be DJ Harper picking up Justin Tucker, for example, although that's not even happening this time down, there's nobody out there right now that can guard Nate Schaefer. Shaw a little bit short. Offensive rebound for the Garnet. Shaw on the drive, picks up the dribble. Patience here from the Garnet, 15 left on the shot clock as Abbas Salah spins. Tried to throw it back for Tucker. McDaniel back the other way. Ray goes right to the hole and a nifty finger roll. 13-point lead for the Garnet, 13:40 to play. And we've lost the picture here, so we're going to pick up with good old radio. Top of the key, Justin Tucker. On the left wing now, Salah. Salah was looking for Schaefer, but a skip pass for Ingram. Ingram with a drive, gets inside, runs through DJ Harper. That's an offensive foul going the other way.
Referees have been very willing to call that in this game, but Harper definitely did have his feet set there, and Harper drove the shoulder into his chest. Or excuse me, Ingram drove the shoulder into his chest.
Tucker and Ingram will come out of the game. Full court pressure with only Kyle and Shaw on the backcourt guarding Mike Wallace. Wallace now brings it across the timeline. Garnet in man-to-man dressed in the white. McDaniel in the road yellows. On the left wing, Harper swings it over for Sproul. They work it to the right side. Now Ray on the drive, comes baseline. That pass is intercepted. Good hands by Nate Schaefer. On the break, here come the Garnet. In rhythm for 3. Connor Harkins, and he drills it from the right wing. Garnet lead 57-41.
What a game from him as well. Now 14 points from the field, pushing already that record there. He gets that ball in rhythm right on the wing, and he cannot help but knock it down.
Harper now top of the key. Leaves it off for number 3, Tony Tavares. McDaniel runs the weave. Harper has it now on the right wing. Garnet slip into man-to-man. Here's the drive from Tavares. Good finish inside over. Abasala quickly back the other way. Odell inside, all alone. Great seal on the defender, DJ Harper. A simple entry pass from Abasala and an easy kiss off the glass. Now McDaniel with under 12 minutes to go. Garnet leading 59-43 on the baseline. Harper has it at the three-point line. He fakes the pass, now Ray slides to the hole, gets underneath the basket, a tough shot. He's nicked by Zach Odell, called for the foul. The layup would not go, but two shots coming at the line.
Yeah, Odell was chasing there and just got a little bit too overeager trying to close as he went underneath the basket. Would have been a tough shot for him to make on the reverse, and Odell not helping himself there with getting a little bit too much momentum into the back.
Isaac Ray hits the first foul shot. He's got one more coming. 11:43 to play. Garnet lead 59-44 at home on Senior Day. Once again, we're going with the old school radio broadcast for now as we wait for the video to come back. Bob Long, Jacob Brady.
It is important to note, Odell also on 3 fouls now, so once again those foul totals are ticking up for him. That's been a pretty common thing in recent games, so maybe a little bit of a troubling sign in terms of how he's playing, especially as they will need him in the post.
And indeed it is man-to-man, and McDaniel with a little bit of patience as Wallace holds it up near the logo. The handoff comes for Tony Tavares, swinging it to the baseline. Comes back for Beverly, top of the key now, Wallace. Wallace goes behind the back, rises up just inside the three-point line, no good off the back iron.
It's a great handle there from Wallace to get his defender off balance, and regrettable that the shot didn't go in based on the talent there that you saw out of him to just knock his defender off.
16 on the shot clock, 10:38 to go. A back cut by Wiley and a wonderful find from Zach Odell. Off the glass and good for Cam Wiley, and the Garnet lead 61-44. Back screen came from Nate Schaefer and allowed Cam Wiley uncontested to the hoop. Aruda with a handoff. Now Wallace off a screen. Back screen for DJ Harper. And he hits that one from 2-point range, just inside the three-point line. Cuts it to 61-46. Halfway home here in the second half. Wiley rises up, in and out. Rebound, Zach Odell, and he goes right back up with it. Finishes, and the Garnet lead 63-46. 9:58 to play, and a timeout called by Landry Kosmolski.
Odell there that time. That'll give him, I believe, 18. Looking at the box score right now, I don't believe it's updated, but 18 points, 9 boards, huge game for him. But really, Cam Wiley on his senior day, 5 of 8 from the field, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. Put that with 5 assists as well. This is him playing really at his postseason level right now. Every time we get towards the end of the season, he bumps up his usage. He can stay fresh, but right now when the basketball really starts to matter, he will turn it up, and that is what he is getting into today. It's a huge game for him, and I expect more big performances like this one as the Garnet head into the postseason.
For those of you just joining us, Bob Long and Jacob Brady. And the video is back. So I had some fun, by the way. Brings me back to my old radio days, doing the radio broadcast, but back here with the visual. 63-46, the Garnet lead, 9:43 to go. Here's a drive by Wallace, and he's nudged into the sideline there by Ryan Ingram. Ingram called for the foul, team's 4th. And that's the 3rd against Ryan Ingram. Two guys with 3 fouls will come off the floor, Zach Odell, Ryan Ingram.
Actually, Odell is up to 10 rebounds, so if we see him again, he'll definitely finish with a double-double at least. I think at this point, if McDaniel doesn't make a large comeback, you just let him sit for the rest of the game. You get Alec White and Justin Tucker some good minutes to close out.
A right wing three for DJ Harper, and that one goes down. Cuts it back to 14. And McDaniel trying to just hang in.
Yeah, they're definitely not making it easy here. Every time the Garnet hit a couple shots, or a big shot especially, McDaniel comes right back at the other end.
George Visconti pours one in from deep, and it's a 17-point lead once again for the Garnet. Now the Garnet back in that zone defense. Schaefer against Beverly. Schaefer with the height advantage, dropping it off. A double comes and they work it back to the right wing. Beverly with an extra pass, the cut, and great body control there. Foul came before the horn, and Josh Arruda kicking himself. He wanted to finish plus the foul, but he did draw the foul on Schaefer, his second, and will go to the line to shoot two.
Josh Arruda, shoot two.
Greg Scarborough comes into the game. One more at the line for Josh Arruda. He hasn't shot many this year, but he was perfect from the line coming into the game. He goes 1 for 2 there. Tucker checks back into the game. Salah given the keys to the car here as Cam Wiley goes off the basketball. Wiley, Schaefer wants the ball and gets it. Patience allows the double team to subside, spins to the baseline, and good hands there by Mike Wallace.
It's a good job just staying home. You want to sometimes get off your feet when you have somebody with a 6-inch or so height advantage on you, backing you down, but Wallace stayed down, poked that ball away.
Here's a drive inside Arruda, a wild one, throws it into the bench. Boy, it's tough. You turn like that, you're spinning in midair, you got to get rid of the ball, and you turn to a sea of yellow. I mean, there's 10 guys on that bench wearing...
Sort of the stress response in a way. You see yellow, throw it at yellow, wrong yellow.
And perhaps Kevin Curley seeing red after that turnover. Visconti at the top of the key, looks inside for Schaefer. He's going to work here all day long. Back for Wiley, tees it up from deep. No good, tapped up by Tucker and draws the foul against DJ Harper. Shooting foul will send Tucker to the line for 2. Only the first against DJ Harper, team's 4th here in the second half.
Guess they're going to call it a putback attempt?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was.
Okay.
From what I saw, but she said...
Yeah, I mean, it was looking to me like he was just trying to tap it out, but I'll take the call.
He goes to the line, he shoots 2. This is his second. Ryan Ingram will check into the game, replacing Nate Schaefer. 18-point lead for the Garnet. 7:34 to go. And you can start to feel it. Of course, you got to stay dialed in, but leading by 18, needing a win to host the conference tournament, Garnet are nearly there.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about this season about focusing on this game, not looking ahead to the next. You definitely don't want to get into that mindset where you're up by 18. Still 7 minutes left to play. That's a lot of basketball, and especially with the way that McDaniel has. Don't want to get sort of lulled to sleep at this point and let them fight their way back in.
DJ Harper hits the foul shot. He'll shoot one more at the line. Came into the year a 72% foul shooter. 1 for 2. Scarborough had it, now is able to get it back in a new possession for McDaniel. Skipping to the baseline, Harper is blocked. Just a fantastic day inside for Zach Odell. Hit the leg of Beverly and goes back to the Garnet. Let's get one more look at DJ Harper and get out. Now on the other end. Tucker off the dribble, and he finishes. Might have extended that left arm just a little bit, but it went uncalled, created the space he needed, and a solid touch finish by the freshman, Justin Tucker. Timeout called by Kevin Curley, and that one I would have to believe is his final timeout of the afternoon.
It's got to be at this point. But, you know, what we were saying about Tucker earlier with the way that we're used to seeing him when he catches the ball outside the arc. At time it was inside, but you're used to him seeing pull up or at least pass it. That time puts his head down, puts the ball on the floor, and goes strong to the hoop. We know he can do that. Again, if he continues to develop that aspect of his game, he's going to turn into such a versatile player for this team. We've seen the stretch capability, and now we want to see him actually act as a traditional big, working in that post down low and putting the ball on the floor.
You are watching Swarthmore Men's Basketball on the Garnet Sports Network, GSN. Simulcast on the Centennial Conference Digital Network. The Garnet, with a win, will host the conference tournament next Friday evening at 6 o'clock and an 8 o'clock tip. And boy, they've had the pleasure and honor to host it the last 2 years. This place gets loud. If you're in the community or you just love basketball, you got to find a way to Tarpa Pavilion next weekend if that's indeed where the tournament is hosted. For programming updates on that, please give us a follow at SWAT Athletics and at SWAT M Basketball for Swarthmore Men's Basketball. So that's at SWAT Athletics and at SWAT M Basketball on Twitter.
It's an interesting little factoid. I believe only 2 teams that have hosted the Centennial Conference Men's Basketball Tournament have actually won it. I think F&M did it once. Swarthmore did it in 2017. So
is that true?
I believe that. I think I saw that. I might be making that. Maybe it's in like the past 10 years or something.
That could be, because it was 2016 at Mazer. Franklin and Marshall beat Swarthmore, and then Swarthmore won 2 years ago.
Yeah, so I believe I saw that on the Centennial website. Totally could be making that up. I don't believe so, though. So,
no, I'm not saying you're making it up. No, it's just a surprising.
I'm saying I might be based on how surprising that sounds, but I think it really speaks to how much parity there really is at the top of the conference. We've said how at various points in the season, Ursinus, Swarthmore, and Hopkins had legitimate shots to host the tournament, but at the end of the day, home court advantage in this conference, it's not as strong as it would be in some other places. That's the reality of this Centennial Conference basketball.
Wow. Well, give me the choice. I'd rather play it at home if you ask me if I'm a player on a team. But that is interesting as Harper hits the 3. 70-54 Garnet lead. 5:30 to go. Now the 2016 game, as that 3 comes up a little bit short, saved in bounds, and it's going to stay with Swarthmore. What a play by Ryan Ingram.
Yeah, Harkins gave up on that once he saw it was long, but never count out your teammates there to save you.
But that 2016 conference championship game at Mazer Arena, the Garnet fell behind by 24 points at the half. It was 50-26, and Franklin and Marshall led. The Garnet, as Wiley a little bit short, came all the way back to the point where it was 67-66. They were within 1 point. They came all the way back on the road, and really, although they were unable to finish that game, really showed the rest of the conference that Swarthmore was here to stay, and they were only getting more and more talented as the years went on. A huge game that night from beyond the three-point arc by assistant coach Shane Leffler. who went absolutely berserk from beyond the three-point line, and one of the greatest moments in Leffler's college career, as Odell double clutches and gets it in midair, able to put it over the front rim and in.
I mean, just how do you stop him inside when he can do things like that? You see the hands there. Those generally show up more on some pass deflections on the blocks, obviously, but that time just the ability to double clutch it just in the air and give himself 20 points.
Mike Wallace hits the three, throws the bow and arrow, down 15 with 4 minutes left. Ingram, in and out. You know what I'm talking about with that bow and arrow, right? Where you pull the arrow out of your, it's like it's a physical demonstration on your way back down the court. That's what Wallace did there as he nailed that three. Wasn't sure if I described that accurately.
I think that's, what was that, what Usain Bolt used to do?
Yes, that's right, the Usain Bolt as well. Wow, that one goes off the bottom of the backboard on a pass from the other end of the floor. And so Wiley adroitly settles it down. That is not something that you see every day.
That man's got an arm, that's for sure.
Ingram for three, no good. Rebound brought down by Odell. Harkins tees it up and hits it.
Yeah, what a day from Harkins. Really, what a season from Harkins. 17 points now. He's stepped up so huge as primarily a shooting guard this season. Lost Zach Yanda, who was such a huge contributor for the Garnet over their 4 seasons. Big three-point shooter as well. Harkins has really stepped into that role off the ball, and he's done so well for them in only his second year.
2:36 to play. 16-point lead for the Garnet. Odell, skip pass. Colin Shaw for three. In and out. Here comes Mike Wallace. Trying to get a quick one. Beverly being given the three if he wants it. Wallace fires, no good. Good box out that time by Ryan Ingram, the sophomore. And a late timeout as Ingram was called for that timeout a good 2 seconds before it came. And because it wasn't called on time by the official, it took a nice whack across the wrist for his troubles.
Well, we're down to 2 minutes. Maybe now you start thinking ahead. Definitely can't get too into it, but definitely looks like the Centennial Conference.
Go ahead.
Tournament, yeah, I mean, no, I'm just saying it definitely looks like the tournament's coming here. I think that's starting to get into the players' head. They know it's coming for some of these freshmen. That's going to be a huge new experience for them, and to have it at home, obviously, in their first year, that's a big part of it.
What I was going to say, and I apologize for interrupting, I think you start thinking about putting Lee Martin back in the game.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think this is when you normally expect to get your reserves in, and I think Lee Martin will. I expect we'll see him for some time so that he can, walk off the court to a standing ovation, as he surely will.
Absolutely. Bring him in for a possession, take him out, and let the crowd pay its respects. George Visconti pulls up at the foul line. Nice shot from the freshman George Visconti. 18-point lead. Wallace with a shake, gets inside. A left-handed finish won't go. And Visconti comes down with it. Here's Ingram coming off the screen. Visconti with 13 to shoot. Wiley, can he cap it? On senior day, won't go that time. Under a minute to go. Wallace on the drive, pulls up, won't go. And they're going to get a timeout as Wiley gets it across the timeline.
And here he comes.
There he is.
Yeah.
And Cam Wiley now, his chance to get a big ovation.
I mean, when that horn blows, I expect this place is going to go crazy for those two.
There's Martin with it. Martin on the drive, pulls it back. And it's given away. McDaniel the other way, and they will not be able to finish it.
And I want to see Martin. Looks like they won't take a shot. Maybe they will. If they do, I want Martin to get it. They won't.
The Garnet win 77-59, and they will be the host of the 2019 Centennial Conference Basketball Tournament. They finished the year with just 3 losses in the conference, 15-3 in the conference, and 22-3 overall. Nothing short of a spectacular year. They finished the season as the number 7 team in the country. We'll see where they come out in terms of the rankings when they rank them for Monday going into championship weekend. But Jacob, a tremendous 25-game stretch throughout the 2018-2019 regular season, and it's onward and upward for this team that has eyes to get to the Final Four in Fort Wayne, Indiana this year.
I mean, this is after these 2 seasons where they made the NCAA tournament back-to-back years, and obviously that championship game against F&M when they showed the rest of the conference that they were here to stay. Since then, this team expects every single season to host, as they have for the past 3 years, to make it deep into the playoffs, into the NCAA tournament, and they are perfectly poised to do that this year. I believe this is the best regular season they've ever had, if I recall correctly. And I think just in terms of how they look, who they have out there on the court, this is quite possibly the strongest, the deepest team they've ever had. The fact that they can go out there with basically a 10-man rotation at this point in the season, that's something we haven't seen before out of this team. But they go into tough games, to games against Hopkins and Ursinus, and they do that, and they trust their players to go out there and make the necessary plays. They are at a great point in their season right now, and I am sure that they are very excited. This whole school is excited that there will be more basketball played at Tarbell Pavilion this year.
And time to look forward, not back, but just indulge me for 1 minute. When you say that it's the best regular season in program history and they lose only 3 basketball games, and then I told you that 2 of those games were lost on opposing buzzer beaters. I mean, what does that tell you about how dominant this team has been this year and how prepared they are to play in close games as well? And then I tell you that they have the opportunity to host the conference tournament, and then I tell you that they're number 1 in the regional rankings and have a very good chance to host an NCAA first and second round. And then I tell you that even if they do that, perhaps they have an opportunity to host a round of 8, a round of 16. This program, Landry Kosmolski, what he and his staff have done has been nothing short of spectacular, and it's a healthy program. There's great support for this program, and all the players need to do now is just go out there and continue to play the way they have, and they have that opportunity to do in front of their home crowd starting Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'll be here. I'm excited for this, and it's hard to overstate just how impressive this season has been for the team as a whole, for the individuals out there. Again, Connor Harkins now for his career, or for the season, excuse me, 80 3-pointers. He's still got I'd say definitely at least. I think the Garnet, I don't think this would be too a stretch to say that they are a lock for the NCAA tournament this season. They'll be playing a semifinal. That's at least 2 more games for him to continue to stretch that record. Just as a whole, as individuals, they've had such a good season, and as a team, again, you've mentioned all those things. The #1 regional ranking, everything about them just demonstrates how ready they are for what will be surely maybe the toughest test that they've ever faced, especially with the expectations on them having gone to the round of 8 last season, but I think they're ready.
Yeah, not only are they a lock, as you mentioned, for the NCAA tournament, I can't even understand a circumstance where, with a loss in the conference tournament, they wouldn't be hosting an NCAA tournament pod, first and second round. They've had that type of year, and they've put that type of equity in the bank that their resume is just that strong. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, I want everybody that's been with us here today and all season to join us next week in person at Tar Bowl as much as you're able. And if not, you can find us here on GSN, simulcast through the Centennial Conference Digital Network. And that Centennial Conference tournament will commence Friday night, 6 o'clock p.m. here at Tar Bowl Pavilion, the first of 2 semifinal games, and then the final will be on Saturday. So for Jacob Brady, my great color commentator, I am Bob Long saying so long here from Tar Bowl Pavilion. A big thank you to Brandon Hodnett for all his work, getting us up and running, getting us through some technical glitches, and appreciate everything he does for this program and for GSN. He's made it a top-notch broadcast and production. So thanks to him. Thanks to everybody being with us. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you guys on Friday night.